Okay, here is the answers to the quiz review. The quiz is tomorrow, and just keep in mind, please make sure you know how to do this stuff. So for number one, for both of these problems, you need to find the domain and the range, and then once you find the domain and the range, you have to determine whether it's a function or not. So the domain is always going to be the x values. So this is an x, that's a y, that's an x, that's a y, that's an x, that's a y, that's an x, that's a y. When you are writing the domain, please make sure that you put it in numerical order from smallest to largest, and you do not write numbers twice. So you just write it once. So for the domain, I have -9, -4, 3, and 9. So in Go Formative, you do not need to put these little curly brackets. I don't know if you can find them or not. You can try. But there's your domain. And then the range are going to be my y's, and it's just 2. 2 shows up multiple times, so that's why we just write it once. And then it asks, is it a function? This is a function because your domain, these values or the x's never repeated, so that's why it's a function. For the second one here, the domain would be -9, -4, and 8, and then you can put those curly brackets if you want. And then the range, smallest is -8, then -5, then a 2, then a 12. So there's your range. And now this one asks if it's a function as well. This one is no, because in the domain, the -4 repeated. 2 and 3 wanted you to determine whether it is a function or not. You're going to use the vertical line test. So if you start drawing vertical lines, do not play connect the dots here, but start drawing vertical lines, and you would see here's a point and here's a point. When you draw this, you pass through both of them. So this one for number 2, no, this is not a function. And my reasoning, you could say does not pass vertical line test. That would work. Or crosses through 2 points, something like that. Number 3, if you draw your vertical lines, you never cross through more than 1 point. So yes, this is a function, and you could say that it passes the vertical line test. Something like that. Number 4, error analysis. Garrick said the mapping diagram below does not represent a function. Explain why he is incorrect. So in order for it to be a function, each value in the domain or each x value needs to map to only one y value. So, or each x value can't map to more than one number over here. So -1 has 1 arrow, 0 has 1 arrow, 1 has 1 arrow, 2 has 1 arrow. So this is a function because each x value does not repeat, or it maps to only one y value. Something like that would be totally fine. As long as you understand that there's only one, or you could say each x value only has 1 arrow coming out of it, which gets us to number 5. Mason said that this is a function. Explain why he's wrong. Well, the -1 here goes to -1, and the -1 goes to 7. So he's wrong because -1 maps to 2 numbers, 2 y values, something like that. Or you could even just say -1 has 2 arrows coming from it. That would work as well. So that's why he's wrong. So these ones should be actual, like, almost like you should feel like you're in an English class. Number 6 and 7 ask you to find the range when you are given this as your domain. So the range is always your y's. So if you're given your x's, you're going to plug those in to find your y values. So here you would, basically what you're doing then is you're plugging in a -1, you're plugging in a 3, you're plugging in a 5, you're plugging in an 8. And when you plug those in, it's going to give you your numbers, and then you just have to list them in order from smallest to largest. So when we plug in -1, we get 1 minus 4.7 times -1. So that's basically going to be 1 plus 4.7, which is 5.7. And then we're going to do f of 3. So you're going to do 4.7, 1 minus 4.7 times 3. And you get negative 13.1. And then you're going to plug in a 5. And then do 1 minus 23.5. You get negative 22.5. And then you plug in an 8. And then 1 minus 37.6. And you get negative 36.6. So these are your values, but you need to write them in order from smallest to largest. So you would put in your little curly brackets, which if you're in Go Formative, it doesn't recognize that. Negative 36.6, negative 22.5, negative 13.1, and then 5.7. You're going to do the same thing down here for number 7. You're going to plug those values in, and you end up getting f of negative 1 to be, let's see, that would be a positive 2. So you get an 8. F of 3 gives you 0. F of 5 gives you negative 4. And then f of 8 gives you negative 10. So then to write it in from smallest to largest, you would get negative 10, negative 4, 0, and 8. Okay, number 8 and 9. Numbers 8 and 9 are story problems, everyone's favorite, but these actually are pretty easy. It says the function j of m equals 39m represents the number of jumping jacks you can do in m minutes. How many jumping jacks can you do in 5 minutes? You take that 5, plug her in right there. So do 39 times 5. And you get 195. So you get 195 jumping jacks, or just 195 would totally be fine. Number 9 says that function represents the number of light bulbs that are needed for chandeliers. How many light bulbs are needed for 15 chandeliers? So you should take 6 times 15, and you get 30. And you can write 30, or you can write 30 light bulbs. So if you get confused on any of this, rewind it back. It's the best part about videos is you can pause it, rewind it, so on and so forth. Or check your notes out as well. We did some awesome examples in your notes. Number 10, what is the equation that represents the graph below? So here you have a line that is graphed, and these are given to you in function notation. These ones right here are they look like they're in slope-intercept form, but they're flip-flopped. So really, if we wanted to think about this in slope-intercept form, you would put the negative 3x out in front, then the plus 2. Same thing here. You would put the negative 2x out front, then the plus 2. These are the same things. So if I'm matching up which equation actually represents this graph, there's a couple of things that I want you to notice. First thing, your line is going up. From left to right, your line is going up, which means that your slope is positive, because your line is going up. So if our slope is positive, that means that we can eliminate some answers right away. So this one has a slope that is negative. That says negative 2x. So D is not the right answer. This has a slope of negative 3. So C is not the right answer. So these are my only 2 possibilities. Once you've identified the slope, or kind of eliminated the ones that give you negative slopes in this case, then you're going to want to look at the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where your graph is crossing the y-axis, and in this case, it's at negative 2. The only one that has a y-intercept of negative 2 is B, and that's your answer. For number 11, you are looking at a table of values to write the function rule. So when you're doing this, this was in section 3.2, and this was day 2. We went through 4 different steps, and step 1 was to find the slope. So to find the slope, you figure out the change in y, which would be 2, over the change in x, which is 1. So your slope would be 2. Then once you find your slope, you're going to plug into point slope form. This will be given to you for your quiz, or you'll have it available to you if you're taking it online. So to plug it into point slope form, that's when you do y minus, and I'm going to use this for my y1, x1, y minus y1 equals m, x minus, in this case, x1 is 0. Once you put it into point slope form, now you need to convert to slope intercept form. So to convert to slope-intercept form, you're going to distribute, and you get y minus 1 equals 2x minus 0, because 2 times 0 is 0. Then you're going to add 1, and you get y equals 2x plus 1. And immediately, if you look over here, there's your answer. And honestly, if our slope is 2, we could immediately get rid of this one and this one, because these are the only two that are left. And then we had these arithmetic sequences that everyone seems to do really, really well on. So the first one says to tell whether it's arithmetic. If it is, state the common difference. So if it's arithmetic, that means that it follows the same pattern using addition or subtraction. So for 12, to go from 13 to 20, you add 7, 20 to 27, add 7, so on and so forth. So yes, this is arithmetic. Your common difference is 7. For 13 here, to go from -7 to -3.5, you go down you go up, 3.5, up 3.5, up 3.5. So yes, this is arithmetic. Your common difference is 3.5. For 14, to go from 14 to 21, you add 7, but then to go from 21 to 42, you don't add 7. So no, this would not be arithmetic, and the common difference would be none. So if you don't have a common difference, you're going to have to put none. It's going to ask you for something. You're going to get points for writing the word none. And then here, to go from 3 to -6, you go down 9, but then you go up to 9. So that doesn't work, so no. And your common difference is none. And again, you have to write that none. 16, given this arithmetic sequence, this should be a -6. That's why that's like that. What is the 10th term? So this is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term. And it looks like the pattern is that we're going up by 5. So the 5th term would be, we add 5, so it would be 14. 6th term, add 5, 19. 7th term, 8th term, 9, 10. I'm just going to continue the pattern. So 19 plus 5 is 24, plus 5 is 29, plus 4 is 34, plus 5 is 39. So the 10th term is 39. Just continue those patterns, guys. For 17, the cost to ride the bus to the city is $2 one way. Next year, it will cost $2.10. So after 1 year, it's $2.10. After 2 years, it's $2.20. After 3 years, it's $2.30. So every year it's going up 10 cents. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It wants after 12 years. 230, 240. Oh, here we go. So 30, 40. So this would be $3.20. $3.20. And then 18, Viola makes gift baskets for Valentine's Day. It's coming up quick, guys, in about a month, so don't forget. She has 12 completed on the first day. So first day, she has 12. She has, on the second day, she's done 24. On the third day, she's done 36. So she's adding 12 every single time. Viola is a busy lady. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 36 plus 12 is 48. 5 plus 12 is 60. 48 plus 12 is 60. 60 plus 12 is 72. 72 plus 12 is 84. 84 plus 12 is 96. 96 plus 12 is 108. So she will be able to make 108 baskets by the 9th day. She's crazy. All right. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. As always, it's a video, so pause it, rewind it. Let me know if you have any questions, guys. Good luck.